when you feel that pride inside, it comes with confidence. It comes with an extra layer of empowerment.
You are bringing the style to Top Chef this season. It is so killer. I'm loving every single look. I want you to tell us a little bit about your style evolution.
You know, my everyday life is exactly what you see right now. It's a sweatshirt, it's a hat, it's no makeup. And so obviously when I got this hosting role, like I knew that we had to step it up. Like I understand how television works. I think the best thing that Charlotte, my stylist, what she has done for me is that she kept on my pace, but she kept pushing just a little bit further each time. And she let me do it in my own time. If you look back to season 21, my very first outfit, like for the elimination challenge, was a black jumpsuit, wearing very little makeup. I don't think we even entered into the realm of fake eyelashes and jewelry and all that kind of thing. But I think I had to ease into it. And everyone on production, no one forced me to all of a sudden show up glam to the nines. So in my own time, I got there. And I think as I got more comfortable with my role and understanding what that role was and what it needed from me, I was able to kind of step into the fashion thing and kind of get a little bit more comfortable with it. But, you know, from the start, like Charlotte will tell you, the first few fittings was probably very funny for her. Also slightly concerning. She was like, wait, we're gonna do black jumpsuits? And I was like, maybe.
No, I love it. You are really killing it with the looks. I want you to, if you can go back to your Restaurant Wars elimination, what was that like to be executive chef and then to be eliminated?
I think I have a better understanding of what it feels like. I can look back at my younger self going through that. And like, I'm like, oh my God, good for you, girl. Like you pulled up your bootstraps and you went back in there. But as I'm going through it, it's like the first, like, I didn't know anything better. Like I knew that Top Chef, one person's going to win and everyone's going to get eliminated at a certain point. And it felt, my first feeling when I got eliminated was relief because I was tired. I was exhausted mentally and physically. I think that judges table was going on for, back then, stew room was like 8 hours. It was crazy. And so like, it was well into like 2 a.m. We were standing there and I was hungry and I was tired and I was just like, so when I got relieved and I was eliminated, I felt, okay, finally I can go sit down, I can eat, I can like sleep. Very quickly, I realized that the desire to make it back in was far more than what I ever expected it to be.
Do you much prefer being on the opposite side, being able to sit down at a table with your fellow judges and eat some delicious food?
Yeah, yes. I think that there are so many great chefs. So many of my friends have gone on and competed over and over and over again, and they are just so good at it. I don't think that is the natural skill set I have. I would entertain competition cooking shows, but in a less serious, like, weighted way. So like for charity, perhaps. Or if someone said, Kristen, would you like to go on the Great British Bake Off? Absolutely. Yes, I would. So I think that it's not about all competition cooking shows that scares me. It's Top Chef and knowing that it is like, it's some serious shit. Like, it's hard. It is hard. I don't need to feel that again.
Is there any other reality television show that you would do that maybe doesn't even involve cooking?
That doesn't involve cooking? I would like to be on American Ninja Warrior.
Okay.
I don't have the skill set for it. It has nothing to do with feeling good at it. I just want to try it. I want to try it so bad. I want to go on American Ninja Warrior. Oh, I'd like to do like 3 days of Alone, but paired with an actual survivalist. I would only last 3 days.
What motivated you to do Top Chef and be a contestant, knowing that being on reality TV, there are cameras constantly surrounding you, and in your book, you talked about how you have always dealt with anxiety? Yeah,
so Top Chef happened because my boss at the time encouraged me to do it. And she just didn't come at it with, I think you'd be really good at this. She said, no, you need to go on it. 1, we need more women representing on television. 2, you can do it. And I can see something in you that, can that you'd be able to hopefully succeed in this process of Top Chef.
You talked about how people thought that you and Stephanie Smar could have been in a relationship. Were you ever nervous about letting more of your personal life come through on television when at that point you weren't publicly out yet?
I mean, when you live your life in a closet for a long time, I'm not worried about anything slipping. It's not like you're holding a secret of something, like something that doesn't mean a lot. I had been living 28 years in the closet. Nothing was going to get slipped. I was not worried about that whatsoever. You know, the speculation of my best friend and I think is completely ridiculous. It undermines real queer relationships, and it also undermines the friendship of women. For that assumption to be out there, I found it more telling about who was making the assumption than it had anything to do with me. So I wasn't worried about it because that's my best friend. Like, what do I care?
Tell us a little bit about your coming out journey. What was that conversation like on that video call with your parents?
Well, it was before video calling was actually a thing. So it was good old fashioned cell phone. It was a phone call that lasted 5-10 minutes of the actual subject, but it felt like eternity. And I think that anytime you are revealing something about yourself that you have held secret for so long, there's shame in that. And to hold it from two people that I know do love me unconditionally, it made the phone call feel longer and more pressurized. But the second it came out, weights lifted off. There was no doubt in my mind that my parents loved or cared for me. And I think it was more of an admission to myself than it was to them.
Yeah. I also really loved your brother's reaction.
Yeah. Yeah. Very just cool. Great. Love it. Can't wait to meet her.
Scott, your ex-boyfriend, was also such an important part of your life. As you dated him for 5 years, was there any like nagging feeling deep down that you knew that it would never work out?
Oh, I always knew it wasn't going to work out. I wanted it to work out so I didn't have to deal with coming out and being gay, because that felt so much more overwhelming than to just live peacefully with my best friend. And, you know, I think I didn't have the strength or the understanding to know that love can feel so much more empowering when done authentically. And so rather than feeling content or complacent or codependent on another person, that true love is freeing.
Tell us about your being in that first same-sex relationship. Like, what was the feeling of when you knew that this fit for you?
Oh, I knew even before the first relationship. Like, I knew what I wanted to feel. I knew what it was like to have a crush, and all those things geared towards women, not men. And so to be in it, you know, I was young. There were things still that I didn't know about myself, but I think that the greatest thing about that first relationship, even though it did not last forever, building the confidence over the years to not feel so terrified at being publicly out. It's like practice, right? You like, the more and more you get used to it and the feeling and what it feels like to live genuinely, authentically yourself.
So what makes you proud to now be openly embracing your sexuality and married to your beautiful wife, Bianca?
I'm proud to be her wife, first and foremost. I'm proud to feel the way that I feel. And I think that that's an indescribable feeling. When you feel that pride inside, it comes with confidence. It comes with an extra layer of empowerment.
I love that you said that you didn't want to get married initially, and here we are.
Here we are, yeah, very much married. Yeah, I didn't want to get married because I hated the institution for saying that I couldn't, that allowed people to go elope in Vegas to some random stranger on a drunken night because they were of the opposite sex. People in long-term loving relationships who actually really wanted to create a foundation of a future in marriage, because they were the same sex, could not. And like, that didn't sit well with me. And you know, I was angry. And I think I didn't want to get married because I was angry. But when I met Bianca, I found love. That outweighs anger and hate all day long.